Oh boy, okay. Happy daylight savings time, everybody. We're going to get started here in just a minute. Thanks for joining tonight. Okay. 7 o'clock. Yeah, it's 7 o'clock somewhere, that's for sure. Wow. So I really swear to you, I promise that when I set this up, I set it for 7 o'clock, which is 7 o'clock right now in Texas. We're daylight savings times last night. We're now UTC -6. We were UTC -5 for the last 5 or 6 months, however long it was. And I swear I set this up for 7 o'clock, and it is, you know what? Echo. Okay, there we go. And for whatever reason, I think YouTube screwed up. I think YouTube put it at 6 and hadn't updated their stuff yet. I think it could be my fault. I don't know, but yeah, that's where we are. So, good evening, happy Sunday, happy opening weekend of deer season in Texas, where I should be right now. But you know what? I like being here as well. So thanks for joining me tonight. Special shout out to all the YouTube channel members in the chat. Andy Cowley was in there early. Cooley, Jason, let's see, Aaron, KQ4HZK. See you guys in there. Who else is there? Don N5SKT, I saw him in there earlier as well. Jody's in there, VA5SAR. Thanks for joining us. Mike, KO4PDI. Thanks, buddy. Mike, if you have the Zoom link, you can join us tonight if you like. There's Don KC5QQ, David, and several of that. Lester, I see you in there. Thanks for joining. Big John's Ham Shack is in here. So thanks for joining us tonight, guys. Appreciate the channel support and for being on a live stream tonight. So what's up, Chris? I was here and on time. Big John says, I was here and on time. I know. I was. Technically, you were early. You were not on time. You were early. But I was on time. But YouTube, I guess YouTube decided to do something different with that. So whatever we got there. Okay, quick announcement real quick, and then I'm going to bring a couple of guests on with me. So next weekend is, next Saturday is November 9th. There is a group in North Texas called Calvary Overland. They do overland meetups about once a month, maybe once every other month, once a quarter, something like that. I think it has changed a couple times. Anyway, they're doing a meetup at CB Adventure Supply in Saginaw, Texas, which is about 30, 45 minutes from where I live right now. And they're doing this, they call it Rigs and Coffee. And it's just kind of like a hangout thing, talk overland, share stories and whatnot, plan events, that kind of thing. They asked me to do a short 30-minute presentation about ham radio. So I'm going to be at that event next Saturday. I think it's at 10 a.m. I think the event goes from like 9 to 1, and I think my presentation goes live at 10. So that's in Saginaw. I'll put a link to this in the chat right here. You can, there you go. If you click on RSVP, it says... it says right down here, and it says purchase tickets, and the purchase price is $0. So they're just trying to get a head count. So you can purchase, if you can purchase one ticket, and it's one ticket per order. Just bring your wife, bring your friend, whatever. Send them this link because it's always going to be $0. So so it's a free event to attend. Obviously, if you haven't been to CB Adventure Supply, they carry a lot of stuff. So go there and spend some money, or go there and leave your wallet at home so that you don't spend money, depending on which situation you're in. It's a cool place to hang out. Cool place to hang out, cool stuff to see. So if you're in the area, come join me next Saturday. All right. Let me switch. I'm going to switch over to you guys. And, well, let's go with No, I don't want that one right there. I want this one right here. What's up, everybody? How are you guys tonight?
Doing good.
You see you.
Good, good. Thank you for
got
thank
a
you for.
mug.
I see your mug. I see your mug, and I'll raise you a pumpkinator.
Well, I am drinking Heaven Hill out of mine.
Ah, yes.
Aha!
I was at Hall's Liquor before I went out of town last weekend for hunting season, and one of the guys was just kind of being overly helpful. One of the guys behind the counter. I'm like, okay, well, tell me what allocated stock you have. Tell me. Oh, we got some new stuff.
That's the key word.
And he showed me a couple things, but he goes, we got 2 bottles that are new. And he pointed to that Heaven Hill, and I'm like, well, I've got a bottle of that. It said Galveston, but I've got a bottle of that. So.
If you say that, then they will light up. Oh, let me show you what else we have.
Right, yeah.
Because they know you know your stuff at that point.
Exactly. Well, yeah, I can act like I know my stuff. I don't really know my stuff.
That's all that matters.
They know you're willing to get your wallet out.
Yes.
That's what it's all about.
That's what it's all about right there. Robert, I heard you call KI5 whiskey something on the 442.6 machine earlier as I was driving home, probably about 11 o'clock this morning.
Yeah, let's see. That was...
And I waited a few minutes to see if they answered you. If they didn't, and then I called you, and you must have turned the dial by then.
So I was doing something. I'm sitting at my desk. I'm doing something. I'm not paying attention to the radio, but I've got it on. I usually have that 2 meter, that Kenwood 710 on when I'm sitting at the desk. And I heard a call sign come over, and it's like, wait a minute, I think I know that call sign, but I didn't see... I've got both the 2 meter and the 70 centimeter repeaters on, monitoring both of those. I didn't know which one it came in on. So I called over on the 70 centimeter one, and it's funny because the guy was actually monitoring both as well, because I saw him come back on the 2 meter side. So
so
I kicked over to the 2 meter side.
Okay. Yeah, because all right, good. Hey, I was on the 440. I was on the 440 side. That's the one I have programmed in my radio as Bridgeport. It's just what I called it, I guess. I didn't know where it was. But yeah, okay, good. But that repeater works fantastic. Surprisingly, I couldn't get it from... It is. I couldn't get it from the deer stand with an HT last night, which there's several repeaters in the area I can get from an HT in the deer stand, but I couldn't get that one. But from the mobile unit, it works great. And from the base station where I was talking to you yesterday, it worked great too. So anyway, I just wanted to let you know.
In the chat. Which repeater?
Go ahead, Robert. You know more about it than I do.
Yeah, it's a Decatur. There's 2 Decatur repeaters.
Ooh, that's up there.
But they've got great range. They've got really great reach.
I was listening to the Denton repeater today over in I was driving through Hearst, and that's a great throw. But I don't know if I was making it back to it. I tried to key up several times. No one came back.
You probably were, because as you will see in a future video of mine, I got an IC 9700. So put that in the back of your mind for a minute. But I was doing some testing, making a video with it, and I keyed up that repeater, and I talked to a guy, and he says they have voters at like Lake Grapevine and like one in the Colony, I think. So they have like remote base that points back to the actual 146.92 repeater in Denton, which I didn't know that. Back when I was a member of the Denton Club years and years ago, they didn't have that. So, but you should be able to make it, Frank, because there's actually a remote base down here that you and I could probably get into a little bit easier.
Yeah, the guys were having a QSO, and I thought they were done, and I keyed up, and I said, "Hey, man, this is KG5AHJ. I'm all the way down here. How's that signal?" And then they immediately came back and called another station and went on with a QSO. I'm like, you know what?
Oh.
I bet you're the same guys that say the repeaters are dead and refuse to talk to anyone else.
Well, you know what? That's
Jason. Might be onto something there.
Yeah.
So Jason, this was a KI5DJL.
Yes, that was not a call sign I recognized, but that's who I heard you call.
Yeah, so he's a local young man around here. I always want to call him a kid, but it's not fair to call him a kid. But I do want to call him out just because, this is a local guy here. He's a college student at Tarleton, so he's down in Stephenville, and this guy is like ham crazy. This is a great ham radio operator. So it's a great example of a young ham radio operator that is out there doing the thing.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's really good. Good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He's not the young ham who was at Field Day, is he?
Yes. That's
Okay.
exactly who
I
it
know.
was.
I know who you're talking about then.
Yeah. That's
He
Dooley.
seemed pretty. Dooley. Yeah. I remember him. Yeah. He seemed really into it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's good. Good deal.
Yeah. So when I heard him, it's like, I gotta come back to him.
Sure.
leave
Yeah.
hanging out there.
Yeah.
But like I said, I just had to take a guess on which repeater he
Which
was on,
repeater it
so-
was.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was
that's
listening.
always a challenge.
I was listening on the repeaters today. I did quite a bit of driving, especially because the storms are coming through.
Yes.
And I didn't hear any storm nets, so that was a good thing. But I did get on and had to get QSO with another gentleman and on the Hearst repeater, and that was fun.
Okay. When I got okay, so well, I'll say that in a minute why I'm home right now. But when I was driving, I left the deer lease probably about 10:45 this morning, something like that. And it's about an hour and 15-minute drive with regular traffic. So I got home a little bit shortly after noon, about noon, maybe a few minutes after. So when I was coming into town, coming down 114 through South Lake, I switched over to the Euless machine, and there was two guys talking on the Euless machine, and which I wouldn't call that machine a very active machine, but it does get used. It does get used, and during storm watches and during the Snowmageddon and the ice days that we have, 2 or 3 or maybe more guys will get on that repeater and do just like a wellness check net. Say, we're going to open this, very informal, no net control. We're monitoring if anybody needs anything, this kind of thing. And
That's awesome.
so I'll list, yeah. And I'm not in Euless, I'm in Grapevine, but I'm right on the edge. And that's probably the closest repeater to me as the crow flies. And it's got a pretty good footprint. And I like to listen to that repeater when I'm driving around town. So it pleased me to hear activity both on the Decatur repeaters and the Euless repeaters this weekend when I was driving around. So that was good.
Yeah, those Decatur repeaters get a fair amount of use. So it's
Good. Okay.
that's why I always have them running. You're going to enjoy having those set up while you're out
Good.
running around at the deer lease. So
Good. Yeah. Because that 2-meter machine came back really strong, and then the 442.6. I couldn't remember the PL tone, and I that's why I asked you for the Bridgeport machine, and I guess you didn't know what I was talking about. But that Roston machine works incredibly well, but I don't hear very many people on it at all.
it doesn't get the same amount of traffic, but it is a good repeater. It's got good reach.
Yeah, it's up really high, like 2,000 feet. So, but yeah. So long story short, we went out Friday, and I set up camp, and I slept in my broken ass trailer for the last 2 nights because I've got an appointment to take it in a week from Wednesday. So we'll see how that goes. And I haven't seen Bill in the chat tonight. Bill, if you're out there, let me know, because I am this close. I am this close to going and getting a Bill trailer and building it out.
Nice.
Like a mobile ham shack trailer.
Know what that will be?
Whole series.
Great content.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it'll be a whole series. Yeah. In fact, I'll probably do a couple of videos on my Unplugged channel just kind of the trailer stuff, and do the ham radio stuff on this channel. But
just need to get the wife to sign off.
I know. I told her about it, and she kind of looked at me sideways, and then she's like,
I saw that look.
she's like, how many radio shacks do you need? I'm like, well, hold on, because we're talking about moving.
Yes.
In a year or two, we're talking about moving to Galveston permanently. Yeah. Well, you can come down to Galveston, Frank. We'll have a spare room.
Oh, be careful, man. I'll take you up on that.
I said it. I meant it. So, Tim, thank you for thank you for being a channel member for 14 months, buddy. If you have the Zoom link, Tim, you are welcome to join us tonight. In fact, anybody...
The Zoom link.
Huh?
He knows the Zoom link.
I'm sure he does, yeah. Anybody in the chat that has the Zoom link that's been on it is welcome to join us tonight. Very, very laid back tonight.
And if you forgot, hit me up in the back channel. I will get it to you.
Yeah, hit Frank up in Discord. So I left there about I'm sorry. So I got to take my trailer in, and I don't know. They might have that thing for 2 or 3 months. I don't know how long they're gonna have it.
Last time they had it for like 3 months, almost
3
4.
months. It was 3. I dropped it off the day after Huntsville Hamfest in August, and I got it back the day after Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
So
Jason, you know what we should do?
What's that?
We should try to get a 2-for deal on one of those trailers, right?
It's an idea.
And then you
want one too?
Yeah, I want one as well. And then you and I can have like a reality show, a YouTube reality show where we see who can build the coolest mobile ham shack.
I would much rather do collaboration than competition. So,
well, it's competition with friendly collaboration.
Well, no, I understand that, but like if Robert comes up with this really great idea, I'm like, no, I want to do that also. I don't want. I mean, I will share all my good ideas with you.
Yeah,
and that kind of thing. So yeah, but no, that's a good idea though. That is a good idea.
I mean, I'm serious. I would like to buy one as well. So if we can get a 2-for deal, we should see what we can do there.
I will buy one. I will buy Bill so he can do it again.
Oh gosh. So I found a place. There's a place in Waxahachie that carries them. There's a place in Hillsboro, and there's a place.
Which brand is it? Do you know? Which one
I think it's various. It's just like a. I'm not even 100% sure if they're new. Like some of them will say like 2022 or 2023 models,
that's all right.
And I don't even care if it's new.
Exactly.
The latest place I found was in Greenville. And I found all of these on Facebook Marketplace. I'm just looking on Facebook Marketplace for a 16 by 7 by 7 trailer. So it's 16 foot long, 7 foot wide, and 7 foot tall. I don't know if that's going to work for you, Robert, but for me that's fine.
Robert.
But are you muted, Tim?
He's just going Florida slow. Hold on.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Tim?
Earth to Tim.
Hello, Tim.
Tim.
All right. Well, sometime he'll catch up to us at some point. So, yeah, but they also make a 16 by 8 by 7. So it's 8 feet wide.
Yeah.
And I think they even make like a 10 feet wide too. But I mean, I don't 10 foot wide is pushing it because that's about the width of your lane on the highway. Yeah. So they make
8 feet would be nice.
8 foot would be nice. And here's the thing. I was talking to a couple of guys at the RV, at Outback RV in Denton, about a couple of different brands of trailers, telling them about all the stuff that the problems I've been having with my Forest River. And they have this brand up there called Imperial that we're going to do a video about soon. And that thing, they build 4-inch thick insulated walls into that thing.
Ooh. Wow.
And it has like 1,000 watts of solar on top and a 12, I think it's either 12 or 24 volt air conditioner. He said they left it on for 3 days one time. They forgot it was running. They came out and they opened the door and it was like 70 degrees in there because it's been running the whole time because it's so well insulated and it's got all this battery power. But I'm like, okay, if I got a 16 by 8 foot trailer, I could put 4 inches on either side, 3 to 4 inches of insulation on either side.
And still make out.
And still be greater than 7 feet wide.
Yeah.
So I'm like, maybe that's what I want to do. And the prices are not very, very different between the two sizes. But what I found a place in Waxahachie that seems to have a few brands, and I found the place in Hillsboro was some lady in Florida hit me up. She's like, "Oh, we heard you're looking for," and I'm like, "Yeah, where are you?" She goes, "We're in Florida," and I'm like, "I'm not driving to Florida." "Oh, we can deliver it to you." I'm like, "Sure, you can for $1,000." Yeah,
right.
Exactly. I'm not doing that. Come on. She said, "We have a place in Hillsboro," and the trailer she was quoting me was $1,000 more expensive in Hillsboro than what she wanted to sell it to me for in Florida. And I'm like, "Yeah, I don't think I'm going to do that." So, but the place in Greenville said that they would finance me. Now, hear me out on finance. Here's how I do financing. I love to do financing like this. And I don't know how long they want to give me, 12, 24 months, whatever. I just want to pay it off in like 3 months. You know, because I'm looking to spend $6,000 to $8,000. The ones I've been looking at have been $6,000 to $8,000, maybe $9,000 at the very most. And I'm like, dude, instead of just dropping $8,000 today, I'll just pay it off in like 4 months.
Sure.
You know, I mean, why not? I mean, I don't care. Finance it to me at 30% for the next 2 years. I don't care. I'm going to pay it off in 4 months. So that's. But the place in Greenville said that they would do that, and they sent me this link to fill out financial information, which I haven't done that yet. But I don't know. I'm looking at that. I need to go out and I've been talking with Richard at Main Trading Company about going out and doing a tour of their new facility. They just moved locations, and I'm like, Greenville's right next to Paris, or just not that far from Paris. So I'm thinking about trying to kill two birds with one stone one of these days and do both of those trips. Just kind of swing through Greenville to check out their inventory and whatnot and talk to them.
Nice.
And if I do that, Robert, I'll let you know.
Yeah,
but
I'll ride along.
But like my older trailer right now, I took to a used car lot or used RV lot like a week ago, and that guy's trying to sell it for me. And then my Forest River is going into the shop next week, so I've got all of deer season left with no facilities at all. So I mean, I don't know. I've got a couple of options. We'll see, but now might be a prime time to try to jump onto something like that. We'll see. We'll see. I don't know. But anyway, Tim, you got us?
I do. Do you have
okay?
me?
There you are. Yeah.
Yep. All right.
Yeah. I don't think you could hear us at first. What's up?
Not much. Just it's coming back. Actually, it was my son's birthday, so we were out at dinner and everything, and and just got home here a little bit ago.
Did you get him a Tank Radio mug?
I didn't.
Probably so.
Yeah.
I couldn't help it. These are awesome, man.
They look like good mugs.
They do. Yeah.
They are good mugs. And Frank, I haven't. I'm going to tell you this on the live stream, and I'm doing this on purpose. So your tumbler, your whiskey tumbler, I'd used it 2 or 3 times, and it was a perfect size. I've got one. I've got a whiskey tumbler from my buddy Brent, Whiskey 7BR, W7BR, and he's got his logo on it. And then yours was a little bit larger, and then I've got these generic ones that are larger than yours. But I was using that ice globe thing.
Down in Galveston?
And I was no. I've got 2 of them in my fridge here as well. And they're a little bit bigger than the one in Galveston. So I was kind of squeezing it and breaking the ice, and I poured it into your glass, and it broke the side off the glass.
No.
It was like ting. I was like, oh crap.
Those were one of a kind.
Yeah, I know it. Yeah, I had to throw it. It was broken now. I had to throw it out. It's like, this is my only one. I told Emily. She's like, what?
Everyone else's tumblers are worth more now.
I know, right?
Yeah. There's less of them in the world now. So
well, now you got to drink it out of your coffee mug.
There you go.
guess, yeah, something like that.
Well, I'm glad to say all the mugs are in the shipping. I dropped the last batch off yesterday.
Good.
So
hopefully you didn't drop them.
First. Nope.
Yeah.
Okay. The first batch went out last week, and I got pictures of those that came through, and I heard that they cut through the mail great. The second batch is on their way. Everything's scanned in. You should have had the updates in the shipping, and they're all out there. So yay!
Great.
And
correct.
They're awesome.
So what's next, Frank?
You know what? I don't know. All right, so I'm going to tease this.
No, do another whiskey tumbler. Just do it a little bit different.
There you go.
Well, I don't want to retread. Do you remember the ammo cans?
Yep.
I had this idea. The ammo cans, like
the
Kyle
metal,
bought,
the metal?
yeah.
The
fire coming out and everything. I bought a kit, a DIY kit, and I gave it to my brother today, and that's just why it came up on my mind. I'm like, I want to do a Tank Radio ammo can with the fire coming out, and I want to go and find a laser cutter in the area and have my logo cut into it, so you see the fire through the ammo can. And me and my brother were joking. I'm like, so I told him, like, oh, you get some lava rocks, put it on, or you get the glass little bead and you put it on top of there, make it look a little nicer. Then I was like, I wonder if someone sells solid metal bullets. So you can put the solid metal bullet inside the ammo can that you light on fire. I was like, how bad something would that be?
Oh, boy.
You go, oh, it's an ammo can, and you see like ammunition inside the fire.
Hold on a second. Patty Boy Gaming, where's the Discord link? It is hamradio2.com/Discord. hamradio2.com/Discord. Frank, if you'll share that just here in a minute when you got it.
Yeah, that's next. Don's calling out the boonie hats. My boonie hats, I'm trying to find the link over at Gigaparts.
Oh, yeah, those are at Gigaparts, yeah.
Yeah, those are awesome boonie hats. I have one behind me right there, but I chose the ones with black and white on them.
Del Fargus says, what could possibly go wrong with that idea of lighting a bullet on fire in an ammo can for fire pit?
I don't know if you guys saw Freddie Mac's face when Frank was talking about that. He's like, all I'm thinking about is rounds lighting off there, cooking off.
I'm just like, I want to go camping in California with Frank when he has that, so that I don't have to drive him home because he's gonna freaking get arrested. So
no, they'll be solid metal, so you can't put it in there. It's just be like, I want the people to be like,
Yeah, nobody's ever gonna make a mistake and confuse that,
right?
And maybe put a real live round in that can, right? That'll never happen.
Never happen. So,
oh my goodness.
But when I was pricing that out, and then the laser cutter, and then lava rocks or some metal cutter to get me that, I was like, oh, that's going to be like $120 item, and I'm going to have two of them.
Well, I don't know. It's a good idea. I don't know. It's a good idea.
Definitely have to
figure out the execution and see.
Mm-hmm.
I would just go with, you've got it down now, Frank, right? You did it on all your boxes, right? Just paint your stencil on the side.
Oh yeah. So that would be the secondary thing. But
if you're going to use it for an ammo can, that's fine. If you're going to use it for a fire pit, that's just going to burn right off of there.
Well,
you can use like the grill paint,
heat-resistant grill paint. It
will
last a couple of years.
That might work. I don't know. The first, when you buy that kit that Kyle has, the first thing they do is tell you to do is sand off all the paint.
Well, you sand off the paint and then repaint it with the heat resistant, because the initial paint they have on there is kind of toxic if it gets too hot. And what are you going to do? Set it on fire.
Yes.
So that's why they have you shave scrape it all off, even on the outside, and repaint it. So like I did with the Robert said, with the boxes, I do the inverted ghost spray paint. Yeah, I could do that too.
Yeah. No, that's a good idea. That's a good idea.
I just think it would be laser cut. It would just be like, it would be so cool. We'll see. I think that'll just be too high. A couple suggestions in the chat. Brandon, to put together a cigar kit, cutter, torch, slider, pouch with all your branding. I like that, but I think the crowd is too limited in that. I would really love to do like a branded cigar, and I looked at those laws, and no, sir, a flask. Do a flask.
Yeah, you could totally do a flask.
Flask is a good idea. Frank, we need to do a round of whiskey.
Yes.
We need to look at some distillery. Right.
Yeah.
Right, correct. And have them bottle it for us in the way that so we were in New Braunfels for a family wedding about, I don't know, a month and a half ago, something like that. We went into a winery in there. And my wife and I, and we were, and they had behind the sign of the winery, they had, do your own wine, make your own barrel of wine. That's what it was. I forget what they called it. They had a term for it, but it was basically make your own barrel of wine. So, and I said, tell me about that. And she goes, what you do is you come in and we'll give you a bunch of samples of different wines we have. And you can pick one, or you can kind of do a blended something if you want to do that. And then we will make the wine, and I think she said it takes like 6 or 8 weeks or 10 weeks, something like that, I forget. And they make the wine, and then when it's ready, you do a reveal party. And you bring your people up there, and you invite people up there, and then you get like, I think it was like something crazy, like 60 bottles of wine, out of a barrel, something like that, whatever it was.
We looked up the numbers, and it was like 300 bottles of bourbon or something.
Well, a bourbon bottle is smaller than a wine bottle typically.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it was like 80 bottles. I don't remember. It was maybe it wasn't a full size barrel they had at this winery. Anyway, the point is, I was like, okay, so what do people do with this? She goes, well, I said, because you can't sell it because you don't have a liquor license. I mean, legally, you can't sell it because you can't put it on your website. You can't put it on eBay. Right. She goes, well, most of the time it'll be a company that does it. And like some big corporate company will come in here for a team building project and they're like, hey, we're going to buy, everyone gets 1 bottle of wine. You know, we got 60 employees and that kind of thing. I'm like, that's a good idea. That's cool. I like that idea. But
they need to resell it though for us because we can't sell it straight out on
We can't sell it straight out.
And it says,
yeah. But what we can do now, any lawyers in the chat, cover your ears. What we can do, I think, is we can take it to Hamfests and sell people a whiskey tumbler. Oh, by the way, you get a free bottle of whiskey with that.
Or whiskey right here.
You know? So, or you could just say, hey, you know what? I'm giving the whiskey away. Oh, you want to make a donation? That's great. Thank you very much. But, you know, the whiskey's free. You know, something like that. So you can kind of get the other end of that is maybe they will sell it through their website.
Yeah,
maybe you can say, I mean, I don't know if
that's what I'd be looking for.
Yeah. We need to find somebody to do that. Because I think that would be a fun, and it needs to be a bourbon, not I keep saying whiskey. It needs to be a bourbon. But I think that would be a really cool thing to have a ham radio bourbon that we can, and I'd buy 10 bottles of it myself, and I would legit take it to Hamfests and give it to certain Patreon members or channel members or something like that. I would give several bottles away myself, but you know, and I'd probably keep 2 bottles myself and put them in the cupboard and leave them there for a long time. But Aaron says 31 gallons in a barrel, fifths, 31 times 5 equals 155 fifths. I think there's different size barrels though, but he's probably standard barrel there. That's good. 155 bottles. We could move 155 bottles of bourbon. I just think we could. I would like to be proven wrong on that. So let's try it and see.
All right, man. I will put the legwork in and see if we can find someone to do that for us, get some pricing, and I hope that they can also do the resale and then just because I like you said, I'll buy some bottles too.
Yeah.
I just want someone else to figure out those laws.
The wine place was, you know, it costs X number of dollars to do this, and then you get all of those bottles of wine at the end of the thing.
Yeah,
you were paying you right. Yeah, it was all yours, and that's what she was saying. She's like, a lot of corporate parties and companies do this, and they'll just give the wine to their people. And I'm like, well, okay, yeah, that's kind of a cool thing, Christmas thing, maybe something like that.
Yep.
Company anniversary, whatever. So I'm like, that's a good idea. So Bill's in the chat. Bill, we were just talking about you, buddy. If you have the Zoom link, Bill, the same one we always use, you're welcome to join us. If you are sitting in front of your green screen in your toy hauler trailer that we were just talking about.
So, hey, Jason, go along the line with what you were talking about with the bourbon. I threw a link in the Zoom chat of a distillery that somebody turned me on to. I haven't had a chance to taste it yet, but take a look at their logo.
I don't see a link in Zoom chat.
It's in our Zoom chat. Oh, he direct messaged it to me because we were.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did it just go to? Oh, it did. Didn't it?
Yeah,
just put it in the chat, Frank.
I fixed it. It's in the Zoom chat.
Okay. You think I'm not much of an IT guy.
I know, right?
Oh my goodness. All right, so let's look at this real quick.
But their logo.
Enter.
Yeah, it's a sine wave.
That's kind of yeah. That is a sine wave, isn't it?
Yeah, bourbon, rye, single barrel bourbon, single rye. Visit us today.
NewRiffDistilling.com. Okay, where is this, Tim? Is this in Tennessee?
Kentucky. If it's Kentucky, bourbon, it's Kentucky.
Yeah, well, it should be.
Yeah, and speaking of which, I don't think Louisville or Lexington is that far from Dayton, Ohio, and that should be a field trip.
Yes.
what I'm saying.
Yeah. In fact, N8YO was in chat earlier, and I'm pretty sure it's Dayton, and he will stop in to Jack Daniels and 2 or 3 different Kentucky distilleries on his way to Dayton. Maybe not every year, but most years. So, and he's like, and I'm like, oh, Jack Daniels, how's that? He goes, man, you can get stuff the Jack Daniels distillery, they don't sell anywhere else. And I'm like, okay. All right, I'm good with that. So I had some Jack Daniels Friday night. I haven't had Jack Daniels in a long time. Not the old number 7. I haven't had it in a long, long time. And I'm like, well, okay. My tastes have been kind of evolving. Yeah. I used to think it was good but not great. So I had some the other night, and I'm like, you know what? That's not bad. It's not fantastic, but it's not bad. It's better than I remember. So
it's whiskey for Coke.
That's exactly right.
Yep.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah.
Thank you, Robert.
Better.
Well, and the guys at Hall's the other day, he was showing me a bottle of Evan Williams that was a single barrel. And I'm like, well, isn't that like very bottom? He goes, yeah, they're like standard. Evan Williams is like the Walmart whiskey that you put in Walmart Coca-Cola. I mean, it's not even really good enough for regular Coca-Cola, but but he's like, this single barrel is supposed to be really good. I'm like, okay, cool, good. So
worth a try, right?
Worth a try. Yep.
You know,
you never know.
Talking about trying, this Heaven Hill is kind of decent, but you know how much everyone talked it up, and when I finally had it, I'm like, oh, okay.
It's good. It's not. It's like Fuzzy's Tacos. It's not worth the hype. I'm like, yeah, Fuzzy's Tacos is good, but what's the big deal?
You know what my everyday is?
Mm-hmm.
You know what my everyday is?
Of course I do. Mm-mm. 4 Roses.
4 Roses.
I dare you to.
This is their cheap, their cheap bourbon.
$28 bucks. Yeah.
Yeah. $28. This is the leader, but yeah.
I dare you to beat 4 Roses for anything less than $60.
Larceny.
Nah.
Larceny's
I don't know,
good.
Buffalo Trace.
But is it less than 60? See, I was thinking Buffalo Trace is a little bit higher than that.
You can get a 5th for $20.
Yeah.
But
where?
At Costco.
Total Wine and More.
Can you really get it? Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. Buffalo Trace is very good as well.
Yeah, for $20, I don't know how you beat it.
Yeah. But I mean, that 4 Roses is fantastic.
4 Roses is really good. Perfect.
Yeah. The Larceny's good too, but I think I like the 4 Roses better. But I don't know.
We didn't have any trouble with it in Missouri, I can tell you that.
No. No trouble.
Short work.
Although the company was pretty good. Maybe that's what made the
yes,
Hey, we were just trying to keep warm is all we were doing.
Survival 101.
Yeah.
It was all medicinal.
That's right.
Purely medicinal.
It really was.
It didn't get cold until the next night. We were prepared.
Yeah, that's right.
What would be our name of the bourbon? So say we found someone to do it.
Look at the chat, like the Zoom chat. I come up with some ideas.
73 whiskey.
The DX Distillers. I like
DX
that.
Distillers. Yeah, that one's good. Yeah, DX Distillers is good.
Key Down Distillery.
Signal Bourbon. That's pretty good.
Signal Bourbon. Propagation Reserve. I think that's one of my favorites.
Propagation Reserve. That's good. That's not bad.
I feel like Freddie's been thinking about this for a while. He started up in a lot of
QSL Select.
Yeah, QSL Select.
I've got to admit, I just tapped it into Chat GPT.
Oh, boo.
Chat GPT.
Just spit them right out.
Oh, yeah.
There's also Ham Band Bourbon. So, I mean, there's a bunch of them. They're kind of...
Tank Tread.
Tank Tread? No,
Fire
we're not calling it that.
That's like shoe leather liquor, right? That just
right,
doesn't sound good.
Yeah. Right. No doubt.
Oh, MI7. I'm not going to approve it.
Oh,
the mods can get a chuckle out of that. Potent through Bill. What is up?
What's up, Bill?
Did somebody say larceny?
Yeah. Bill was there for the larceny epic.
Yeah, I was. I participated.
Where are you at, man?
I just got to my sister's place in Arizona. I had to get out of that monkey suit and put on some real clothes. And just took a 4-hour flight from Charlotte to here, and glad to be with you guys.
Cool, man.
Nice, man. It's good to see you, Bill.
Howdy, howdy. Yeah, long time.
Yeah.
We got to get together.
I know.
Yeah.
I loved all the traveling we did, but I am enjoying my downtime right now. Let me just say that. But I'm looking forward to next year to just do it again.
What'd you say about More Expo, Bill?
Who's going to More Expo?
Oh, yeah.
Bought my ticket.
I definitely am. I got, let me, hold on a second.
I saw that email like a couple of days ago, right?
Yeah.
To get ready for
what are we going to 25?
We're going to make it bigger and better.
Well, no,
that's what we're going to do.
But like, are we going to do the same type of preview ticket so we get in and to the crap count early and
Okay, so here's so I had emailed Chris Holloway. He's the founder and CEO of More Expo. I emailed him basically the week after we got back, and he replied to me like last week, and he's like, "Hey, I just sorry for the delay, blah blah blah. That's fine, no problem, no big deal." He says, "I was just on a call with David Harris out of the Nixa Amateur Radio Club, which I think is in the area." He reminded me to holler back at you. My apologies for missing. Okay. David and I were talking about setting up an amateur radio area between the indoor and outdoor vendor areas so attendees could meet all of you guys. I want to give you space for everyone and all of you to come together in a shared location. I have a good spot with power right on the main road. If you're still interested in coming in, please grab a time on my calendar. So I have a meeting with him this Thursday to discuss.
So we're not going to be at the back?
High ground. Yeah,
well, it sounds like we're going to be up front at the camping spot.
Just make sure we're on high ground, right?
I don't think he's talking about. I think he's talking about something similar to what he gave Steve last year.
Yeah, like
not a campsite, but during the show, like a booth during the show.
A meetup presentation site.
Right. I believe that's how I read it anyway. I can confirm with him when I have my call with him on Thursday. But
didn't we will camp. Booth? Like, didn't we try a booth several times at Dayton and a couple other ham fests, and we weren't hardly ever there, just to
we did once at Dayton.
Healthy counter, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it would be nice to have. I don't know. There's a different ambiance at an Overland show because we're not Overland YouTubers. We're ham radio, so having a ham radio spot might be kind of a good thing at this show. I don't know. But I don't know.
We're not on Creators Row where all the Sadie people were.
Right. Yeah.
Did you walk down there? Like, so
yeah.
YouTuber ham radio content creators. We're rubbing elbows. We are stealing and drinking all of Freddie's bourbon, and we're having a fun time. I walked down, the content creators row for the overlanding group.
Yeah,
they were like, "This is my area, and this is my area, and this is my area." And some of them they were just kind of talking to the fans. But from the big creators, I didn't see a lot of intermingling how like we do in the ham radio.
No, I didn't see a lot of intermingling either. That's true.
And I got a lot of dirty looks, is what I got.
Yeah, as soon as I was like, I got my own channel. Oh,
that's par for the course, though, Tim.
Yeah, well, that is true. That's you're right. You're right.
True. Yeah, consider the source, I guess. But no, I mean it's a different thing.
Especially that guy with the purple hair. I won't name any names, but you know what I'm talking about, right?
Oh yeah.
Yes. Yeah. We've well.
Bill, there's some feedback coming from you.
Is there?
I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, there you go. Thank you. Feel free to talk whenever you want to, but
Bandmaster Bourbon. Yes.
Bandmaster Bourbon. I like Straight Key Spirits. I like that.
I don't know. There was a different vibe I got from them. They're not
I agree.
Like sharing. Maybe if we walk down there at night, they might be having fun, but I was like, no.
So one of the things, most of them are they're A-type personalities, right? And we are too.
Yeah.
But the very nature of ham radio is to to be out there to talk, to communicate.
Right.
Communicating is really not where their things are. They're very guarded, and it's all about me. We're here to help.
Maybe they're just used to being out in the middle of nowhere by themselves, right?
Right.
They don't know how to play well with others.
Yeah. True. Well, the point is that the good news is, in my opinion, that More Expo wants to support us.
Yes.
And they want to make it easier to get the word out about ham radio and support our YouTube community. So we are going to be making... So I'll find out more information from Chris. This is not a campsite thing. We're going to camp in the same way we did last year.
Cool.
Except larger, I hope.
Can we just get that corner blocked off?
Corner? That whole, like, the whole area, that whole sliver?
I don't think... Yeah, I'll see what he has to say about that. I was like, I don't want any special privileges or anything. I'm not trying to do that because it is dispersed camping, first come, first serve. I say we just get there early again like we did last year.
Well, that was fun.
But, yeah, I thought that was really fun. It was a fun drive. But I'll see what he says about that. But, no, I think he was talking about, like, a booth for, like, during the show, to a hangout place during the show, kind of like what Steve had last year. So, yeah, I think I think we're going to be doing a big push for probably as soon as Hamcation is done in February. We probably do a couple of live streams, invite people on, get the word out, that kind of thing, and try to get a larger crowd, a larger ham radio crowd at More Expo this year than we had last year, because that was a fun shine.
Prep Pan Paul says, does he have to buy a gazelle to attend our site?
You do not. You just have to buy one if you want to look cool like the rest of us. But you don't. I mean, we're not going to kick you out if you don't have a gazelle tent.
Rob didn't have a gazelle tent.
No, Rob
didn't. He did not look cool.
And
Rob had
I camped in either.
Raj Mahal. It was
That's right.
huge.
The garage.
That's
Mahal.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Kyle was in his
7
hiker.
feet tall. You got to have a big tent.
That's right.
That's what she said.
Yeah. Kyle had his hiker trailer.
I drove Cousin Eddie up there, or pulled Cousin Eddie.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Freddie.
It's
Mac
nice on the inside, but it's an eyesore on the outside. But hey, it worked.
Other than Kyle's gazelle, he was nice enough to haul a gazelle down there for me.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, that's right.
What's the frequency says there's a well-documented drama between all the RV and Overlander channels. Well, if you give them all bourbon and tell them to share, then they'll become friends. Exactly. And cigars. Because, we woke up and we morning cigar.
I mean, that's too bad that they don't get along. I mean, we have such a great time, I mean,
I know it. Yeah.
Most of them are a bunch of prima
just
donnas.
such a shame.
I'll just say it.
We were cooking breakfast, lunch, and dinner for each other,
Yeah.
Food's here.
It was awesome.
Actually, let me take that back. Y'all bring the food, and I helped prep on Kyle's stuff and cooked it.
Frank was full.
I had my new Blackstone that I just purchased a couple months ago that I haven't had a chance to use yet. I cooked a couple meals on it this weekend at the hunting lease. So.
Nice.
Yep.
Let's fuel for it.
Yeah. I need one of those laser thermometers like Kyle has to, But yeah, you just kind of keep the heat low so it slow cooks things, and then you can go okay. It's okay. Let's see. Hold on. I saw a question or a comment I wanted to reply to, but I lost it. Oh, here's Chris Bricker. Are you guys taking go boxes and showing off a decked out Jeep with okay. My battery died. Where is that?
I could take it. Are you guys showing go boxes and showing off decked out Jeeps for ham radio stuff? Last year, Jason did a intro to ham radio talk, and that was fun. If we have a booth, we might set it up with some ham radio stuff. We didn't do it last year, but
we did not set up a radio last year, but we did. But Shane set up a radio 2 years ago. And that was the year that he had his 7300 out there, and he found a guy on freaking, I think he was on 20 meters. The guy was on AM. He was calling CQ on AM. And we made contact with him, and he's just like, yeah, just trying some AM. I'm like,
yeah.
oh, that, and he sounded great. And I was like, man, that was he has Buddy Stick Pro and a 7300. It's all he had, and it worked really well. So we did drive down the road a short ways and do a POTA activation this last year.
My first,
because there's a that's right. It was your first,
yeah.
But
Brady
it's
did great.
there's a POTA spot, a couple of POTA spots very close by, but it's but yeah, I mean, yeah, we should set up a radio in camp. We should totally do
in
that.
camp, or if we have a gathering table. The only thing is, I don't want to leave my my whole radio kit and then go and take video and disappear for 2-3 hours, come back to the table and it's been rummaged through or gone.
So Steve did have a couple radios set up.
He did,
basically showcasing his antennas, but he wasn't really there to sell anything per se. It was more just kind of education of ham radio in general.
Yeah, get the word
I'm
out.
bringing a portable All-Star node that I've been building, and a battery box that my friend is making. And he's another ham up and coming YouTuber, and this is portable stuff, so it has multi uses.
And
if Robert, speaking of, back to the Gazelle thing, if Robert and I have our way, we're going to be bringing some mobile ham shacks.
That's right.
Oh, see, that's a point.
So,
right?
yeah, I'm putting my All-Star, my Bridgecom repeater with the All-Star setup in my mobile ham shack whenever I get it built.
Perfect.
So it has a 100-watt amplifier on it too.
But to the one question though, as far as the rigs and everything. So I had my Bronco there last year. When we went to go POTA, we rolled up, dropped the tray table down on the tailgate and set up shop, and all was like at least six of us.
Was that the POTA activation? Kyle was like,
yes,
yeah,
it's exactly that one.
Yeah. Well, those guys were over there doing the CWs.
No, he was out. Like he was out on the side of the truck leaning on it.
Yeah, Jason was asleep. When Jason was operating, he was sleeping.
That's right. Yeah. Let's see.
Oh,
okay.
wait. Do you guys remember that dude that was in the car next to you, Tim, who was parked next to you?
Yes. Oh, I talked to him for a little bit.
Did he make any sense?
No.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought so.
They got to hang out somewhere.
Dude, the story I wanted to tell was when I came back, Kyle said, "No way, if I was there, I'll punch you in the nards." So what happened was I went to the restroom and a guy was sitting at the restroom trying to charge his Uber battery that it charges everything for the weekend, but he didn't get through one night and he was trying to get it charged up. And I walked in there, I went the restaurant, I came out and I looked at him. It's like, looks like you need a solar panel, right? He goes, well, yeah. I said, go to Gigaparts, 5% off. You take it, check out. And I walked away. And I told that guy
poor guy was sitting. It was late. It was at night.
Yeah, it was late. It was dark.
Instead of being with his buddies having a drink and a cigar, he's dutifully trying to get his station charged. And Frank's like, yeah, go buy one.
Yeah. And I told that to the cab, and Kyle looked at me. If I was there, I'd punch you in the nards.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah. A couple of comments from the chat. So KE6GAE, the Hillbilly Ham, he says there will be a communication. He's been chatting with me for a little bit. There will be a communication trailer on the air station set up at the More Expo. So I think he's with one of the local clubs that comes out. So he's been talking to Chris also. So yeah, we're getting a bigger ham radio presence here.
I hope Alpha Antennas set up at the front gate again.
I hope so. Veritas Weasel, I'll come back to you here in a second because I'm going to let Rob answer your question. Let's see. This Chad K. Now that winter's coming, business is slowing down, focusing on getting licensed, have failed the test twice, the last 2 tests.
You can do it, man.
So keep going. Don't let that discourage you. Go to QRZ or eham.net, QRZ.com or eham.net, and practice and take their free practice tests. And keep doing that until you get to 80%, until you get a consistent 80% pass rate. And then go take the test, and you'll be done.
How I pass general.
Yeah. So yeah, keep going, man. Keep in contact with us and let us know how you do. This is good. David Pearson. A brief on why your overlanding radio comms suck. Because you mount the antenna this far off the body with nothing underneath it, and you're using a GMRS radio. But I don't have any problem with GMRS radio, but I do like to poke fun where I can. So,
no. So your GMRS will get out a quarter mile. My radio will get out a couple miles. Actually, to be honest, I did a test here recently, and at the mile mark, I did a mile mark, and I couldn't get back to the house, and I think it's because Euless has a bunch of hills.
Could be. Yeah,
I got back with 50 watts, but I couldn't do it with the. Freddie has the same issue now.
Freddie has the same issue. Yeah.
With the handhelds, and I was kind of disappointed, and I want to figure out why.
Yeah. All right, so this run right here, I'm going to let Robert answer this. Okay, so Veritas Weasel. Please recommend radios for AMSAT. I assume he means satellite. A UV878 2+, or the UV9PX. Any others? ?
Well, let's see. Those are both handhelds.
Right.
Look, here's my recommendation, and anybody that's watched my channel, they already know what I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
First of all, I recommend that you don't use a handheld. It's
problematic.
Yeah, you want to have success, right?
Right.
And getting a little bit of success early and easy just kind of fuels the fire, right? There's nothing worse than going out there trying to make a contact and struggling. You'll put your radio aside and then you won't get back to it. So my recommendation is to pick up an IC 2730. That's an ICOM mobile rig, right? So here's the couple advantages you have. You can go with more power than 5 watts, right? That thing will operate at 5 watts, 15 watts, or 50 watts. Don't throw 50 watts at the satellites, please. But you can throw 15 watts at them, and you're going to have much greater success than you will using a 5-watt handheld. You can do it with a handheld, but you're going to spend about the same amount of money, right? Maybe a little bit more, but about the same amount of money to get that ICOM radio. It's a fantastic radio. It does anything you want to do from an FM or from a analog radio perspective. It's only $300. Get that radio, you will have success.
Right tools for the job.
Right.
Does Bill have an opinion on that? I saw him throwing signs up.
I knew, yeah. That was me saying 27, and I didn't know how to do 30. I knew what Robert was going to say. He's from a guy who had no idea how to get started. I followed his suggestions, and that radio does well. Get yourself rig it however you want. Amazon bag, whatever. Everly stock, Amazon chest rig, and follow Robert's. Just mimic him. Just do what he does. And he doesn't hide it. He'll teach you to do it the way he does it. He's successful. So follow someone who is successful, and you will be too. Reinvent the wheel if you wanna. I mean, that's fun. But
that's a challenge for me, man.
Well, and there's certainly other radios out there. I see Jason says, what about an 857D? Sure, if you've got one, right? Hey, if you've got a radio and you don't need to buy a radio, that's always your best bet.
Right.
But if you're going to try to pick up an 857D, you're going to spend a whole lot more money for a used radio. And like I said, $300 brand spanking new on that 2730, and it's a fantastic radio.
And Mike says 9700.
Well, of course he does. The 857 is just single band though, right?
It is.
Yeah. It's not full duplex dual receive.
You don't have to.
You don't have to have
duplex,
dual. Yeah, but you're talking about. You're talking about being successful. Yeah.
Right.
Until you get good at it.
Yep.
Right. Yeah. Until you understand how it works and understand the nuances and get good at it and know what to listen for.
Exactly.
Get a dual band full duplexing dual receive radio. It'll just be you'll be a happier person for it.
Yeah, and get yourself an elk antenna or an arrow antenna, and you'll be making contacts before you know it.
Yeah, N8YO. So N8YO is offering to buy you a 9700 with a directional antenna and auto frequency control. At least I assume that's what you mean, Mike, because you're suggesting the most expensive damn rig that we've talked about so far. So if you contact N8YO, you can tell him that Jason said that you'd help him out on that.
Mike has my address, and he'll send that to me.
Hey, and remember, ICOM has the new black edition.
Yes,
the 2730 coming out, which it's the same radio, but it just looks. Yeah. I mean, it's like
that sounds metal.
Huh? It looks like Darth Vader.
The black
man.
edition. Yeah,
it's so cool looking.
Yeah,
it really is sweet.
I saw a freaking Instagram reel, and it was the last scene in Rogue One where Darth Vader comes into the ship and he just completely annihilates all those guys. And it was done to Hell's Bells, AC/DC Hell's Bells. Freaking rad. So I'm like, oh my. And it said the title was Darth Vader, Hell's Bells makes Darth Vader much more scary. And I'm like, oh my God, that is freaking cool. It was really fun.
Nice. I'll have to look that up.
Did I miss conversation about I don't want to interrupt the questions, but I'm curious. Did I miss conversation about ham radio trailers?
Yes, that's what we started on.
We were talking about that before you joined us, Bill.
So I know you are going to do that, Jason. Did I hear that Robert's going to do it too?
Yeah, apparently Robert wants to compete with me, and I'm like, no, let's do it together so we can neither one of us screw up. So, but yeah, he wants to do it as well. So I'm like, oh man, let's make this happen. So
well, it's a great idea, Bill. It just really is.
Yeah.
When you think about needing, I love the hiker trailers, right? And I love the one that Kyle got. I just don't fit. I just don't fit in those things.
Well, the original.
But I'll tell you right now, if I had a change of mind a little bit, my thing is I need the toy hauler so that I can move my motorcycle around. Mm-hmm. I need to. Specific, but when I look at that hiker trailer, I see 1500 watt capability tuner, 1500 watt amp, a radio. I can see that radio.
You mean in the galley?
No, in the forward storage areas.
Oh, gotcha.
Couple of fans. What I'm getting at is you can make that trailer the way you want it to. I'm sure if you get 100 hams, you get 150 different ways to make that trailer perfect.
Well, the originator.
I'll never stand up in it. Nobody's going to stand up in it, right? But
I can.
7 foot.
I can.
Well,
I'll be able to.
You think? I don't think you can.
A 7 foot trailer?
No, the hiker trailer.
The hiker, yeah.
Oh, the hiker trailer. No. Well, okay. So Kyle told me at Rendezvous last month, hiker's coming out with a new trailer that will be 7 feet on one end.
Oh,
they're gonna announce that in January. So,
but it's still not going to be cheaper than a.
No.
Right,
no
like
way.
a box trailer that you do your own thing with.
Is my audio better, by the way?
Yes.
Yeah,
it's fine.
No,
I don't hear
Robert,
echo
yet. I think you can stand up in mine.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
You might have to duck under the air conditioner, that little panel, you might have to duck, but it's supposedly 7 foot or thereabouts.
Yeah.
See,
I have no regrets. People, why would you do that? Or I can't, I get some comments like, you're going to bounce your radios to pieces. And I'm like, well, it's a company that makes radios for the military, and I'm not overlanding with it. We'll see. I'll find out. You're absolutely right. I'm introducing forces to the radio that the radio would not get sitting in your ham shack. We'll see. But I don't regret it. Sitting there at Huntsville, operating out of that trailer was so much fun.
I imagine so. Yeah,
it's like breaking pileups is a hoot. I know some people say, "Oh, that's cheating on POTA."
No, it's not.
I'm cheating on POTA. Come on.
I'm gonna
different
cheat.
sitting in your car.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Or us bringing the 100-watt radio with us. Come on now.
Yeah. So I have a lot of fun with it. I was designing while I was doing it. There's not a whole lot I would change. I would have done it at different intervals. I ran tons of cat cable, like twice as much as I needed, and it already came with some 12-volt, but then I added the inverter and inverter charger and some security cameras, and I'm pretty happy with it. I would change some things. And you know what? It fills up real quick.
Right.
Yeah.
You probably get a lot of stuff in there. Okay.
Yeah. But I'm having fun with it. I say, come on, man.
Yeah. There's a lot of people in the chat right now talking about you have a trailer. John just said we have 3 7100 radios, a Buddy Hex, and 2 InFeds, 400 amps of battery, solar panels. So I would like to do some interviews with some people that have your own trailer already. So if you do have, and I want to get Bill on there too. We didn't get together at Huntsville. Are you going to bring that back to Huntsville this year, Bill?
For sure, and that's I'd like to move out of North Carolina, although that's really a nice place for DX. But
yes.
And but I have to be. I'm still working, so I have to be able to leave it in a secure place and still get back to the airport and leave it there for 4 days. And I just don't have my mind made up. So right now I'm still set. But what was I going to say? I can't remember. It'll come back to me. Oh,
that's fine.
Who's got a nice one, and I'm sure everyone's is nice, but one that sort of inspired me in different ways is George from Ham Radio Workbench has got one.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I think I've heard about his. I haven't seen it, but I heard that before.
There's several out there, and they're far as I'm concerned, heads and tails above mine, but as far as especially finishing, I'm not a finish guy. I'm not a decorator.
How about Chuck's? Chuck was the originator of this build out process.
Chuck's is perfect for what Chuck wants. Chuck wants to move his dirt bikes, him and his friends' dirt bikes around. His is a 16 by 8.5. Wait, no, 16 by 8.5. It's a big boy, and he's got a nice lab in there where he can shower and do his thing, and he's got nice cabinets. He's got his radios. It's what you want.
I want to do all of that to mine. I want to put a shower in it with a freshwater tank and air conditioner, heater, a whole 9 yards. And I've got this whole Victron system. I've been watching videos about the Victron system, and I'm like, this is some really cool stuff.
Some great stuff.
So, I want to do all of that. So, switching back to the satellite talk real quick. I guess I'm asking this question, Rob. So Veritas Weasel, same guy who asked the question before, he says, thanks, guys. I was thinking about the Anytone handheld for satellite because it automatically adjusts transmitting receive, he says, for Doppler shift.
Yeah, so
what is that?
They have some new firmware for that will adjust the frequency for you.
Okay.
Which radio?
The Anytone 878 handheld.
Yeah, they just came out with that
firmware. It's a 168.
I don't know, maybe 3-4 weeks ago. It's fairly new.
It's just okay.
Yeah. But that's pretty cool, but it sounds more daunting than it really is. Managing Doppler is not a big deal. The first few times you do it, it's, you think you need to have 8 arms and all the rest of that stuff. You get that pretty quickly. And, the way I manage mine is I set it for 5 kilohertz steps. And so, you're adjusting the radio 4 times through the pass. It's not that big of a deal. Right? You kind of hear the signal start to fade, and you just bump to the next memory channel, and you're good to go.
Yeah,
but that is
good to know. I didn't know I honestly did not know the answer to that, so that's good to know.
So that's also that handheld's a full duplex.
I believe it is a full duplex.
Yes, the handheld is a full duplex. Yes.
Okay. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't aware of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Adam, what's up? K6ARK.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, this new one here, Rob. I don't know if you watched my video about this new Anytone. It says
just a couple of days ago.
Yeah, so it says that it's satellite capable, unlike the 878. And I'm like, I don't know what that means because they're both full duplex. But supposedly this one has some more satellite capabilities in it than its predecessor, than the 878. Maybe not since the firmware came. Maybe they're the same now that the new firmware came out for the 878. But I was thinking about giving that to you and letting you play with it for a few weeks and seeing what you thought about it.
Yeah, I'd love to.
But Adam, K6RK, thanks for joining us, buddy. Good to see you out there. He made a comment that I wonder what you'd have to say to this, Robert. And I am not a satellite expert, guys. That's why I'm asking Robert these questions. I've never even made a satellite contact. Maybe once.
I know a fair bit also.
So you know how to not make contacts, Frank. So I'm kidding. Adam says running low power on transmit gives you a better odds of hearing yourself on the downlink. 15 watts on transmit may desense enough to keep you from hearing some of the FM sats on the downlink.
Yeah, so I'm not sure what how Adam's running that, if he's running with two different handhelds or what, but desense is a thing. I mean, that's certainly that's certainly problematic. I mean, some guys will run a filter to try to help with that, especially if they're running two radios. With the 2730, you don't have to worry about that. That's another great thing about that. You don't desense yourself with that radio. I've certainly experienced that using two different handhelds. I've also experienced that using, I've used the 818 to transmit, right? The Yaesu 818 to transmit, and I've used an SDR on my phone, running on my phone to receive. And
wow.
Yeah, that's pretty fun, right? I mean, you can do some neat stuff.
It's because it really depends on where the receiver for the SDR software is that you're listening to, because you might hear yourself and you might not. I mean,
yeah, it's so I use an SDR dongle that plugs into with one of those Go cables, right? That you can put in your phone.
Yeah.
So I've set that up with one of those NULEC SDR dongles, and it works fine. But you'll desense that if you don't have a filter on there, or if you're running too much power. So Adam's absolutely right.
Okay. Good to know. Yeah, but we don't have the problem with the 2730. It kind of takes care of it for you.
Yep.
So. What about the V71? Is it work as well?
Yeah, V71 is another great radio to use, and a lot of people have those. That's a great satellite radio, and you don't have to worry about the desense issue there either.
Okay. No, I have a V71. I haven't messed with it in a long time, but that's the one that I was going to use with my R-Finder setup.
Yep.
With the tracking arm. So, good.
Do you still have that?
I still have it. Yeah, I don't know if he still manufactures them or not, but it's still out there and it still works. I mean, I haven't used it in a couple months, but it still works. So
I wanted to do a video on it originally, and I was waiting for you to get yours done. But
he's got some other issues he's working on right now, so I haven't messed with it because he's got other
priorities.
Well, not priorities, just there's some things that happen that he's trying to deal with right now. So
okay,
I don't want to say anything more than that, but yeah,
I will respect that. But yeah, the R-Finder was came on the satellite spot hot, and I haven't heard too much about it kind of since then, and I wanted to play with it, but I just never got my hands on it.
Yeah. I've seen several people mention the FTX 1F. David, I see you talking about that. Somebody talked about it earlier. Guys, that radio's not out yet. So, in theory, it should work great, and it probably will. But we can't make a determination on that radio until we actually have one in our hands.
What is that radio?
That's the new Yaesu QRP radio that they announced at the Tokyo Ham Fair a couple months ago. It won't be out till like freaking January. So
but I can't wait. It's gonna be
I can't wait. I've got one on pre-order. I can't wait either.
Too.
It's awesome. It's gonna be a fantastic radio. I know I'm gonna love it, but I got 2 or 3 emails over the weekend asking me questions about that radio for some reason. I don't know why everybody's just talking about it again now. I mean, it's exciting. It's an exciting radio, of course, but
everybody's getting ready for Christmas.
I don't think it's going to be out before Christmas. I don't think it's going to be January. Yeah, it's going to be.
Has it been confirmed that radio is going to have the ability to receive and transmit at the exact same time, or is that still a rumor?
I've heard conflicting reports.
So have I.
Yeah, no, I think Paul was there, right?
Paul was there, yeah.
Right, and if I recall, Paul said it's full duplex. He heard that it was full duplex. Paul was in the chat here. Maybe you can confirm, Paul. But I've heard conflicting reports.
Right. I just don't want to speculate on that radio because it's not out yet. I will absolutely have one in my hands, use it, and tell you guys what I think about it once it's available. But I keep getting, hey, so what about this radio? I got an email just like yesterday. What about this new Yaesu radio against this IC705? And I'm like, I don't know, because I don't have both those in my hand right now. So in theory, the Yaesu should be better simply because it's newer. Okay, that the FTDX10 is a better radio, and the FT710 are better radios than the 7300 because they're newer technology. Okay, 7300 is a great radio. Don't get me wrong, but until I have both of them in my hand, I don't want to speculate. So that's just me.
Hey, you know what? Something just came to mind since we're riffing on satellites here.
Yeah,
that new firmware for that HT. I forget the model.
878.
That's still going to have an issue with that. With adjusting the frequency for you. I mean, the TLE data is going to need to be updated very frequently, right? That changes every 4 or 5 days. So you're going to have some way to update the TLE information on that radio for it to be accurate.
I heard they planned for that over APRS.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Tough crowd.
Tough crowd.
Tough crowd.
Tough
my gosh.
Tough. I got it. I got what you were saying, Tim. Yeah. But
I was waiting for the rest of it, but
right, yeah.
No, they're just going to use APRS. I mean, they got to have a good reason to use APRS. So updating TLE data on your handheld would be a good use.
Right.
Yeah, so I mean, that's the one problem I see with that approach is you've got to have a way to update that TLE information regularly.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay. So I guess Prep Ham Paul has a live stream starting in 12 minutes. Is that right?
Yes, he will usually do it around 8:30ish.
I didn't. Well, I'm out of the loop. I didn't realize he was live streaming on Sundays.
He's been doing it for the past couple of months, but he just goes live around 8:30. Doesn't matter if we're running long or not.
Do we have a link? Do we have a link to his live stream tonight?
You can go ahead and dig that up for you.
Let's find a link to his live stream and share it in the chat. If we
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the newest Yaesu is in the HRO catalog. That's great, but I don't have one in my hands, so I'm not going to speculate.
Have they announced a price point yet on that radio?
No,
I don't think so. Yeah. I haven't looked up.
I haven't looked up once a week.
Do you? Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't looked at it since I did that video about it a couple months ago.
So
yeah, I look for the new 2730. I look for the new Kenwood. Yeah, there's nothing out there. And, I'm looking for all three of those, and I don't see any news on them yet.
I don't think I'm interested in the ICOM only because I don't need another $6,000 radio.
No, not that one. The 2730, right? That's the one up. The black 2730.
Oh, the black 27th. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. All right, cool.
Yeah, I don't need another $6,000.
No. I was thought you were talking about that 7760. But I'm very much looking forward to both the Kenwood and the Yaesu, so I'll be picking both of those up.
And if I'm not mistaken, the black edition of the 2730 provides no new functionality. It's just
yeah, I think it's all cosmetic
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's how the black.
It's just wicked cool. It looks really cool.
The black edition of the ID52 that I have is same way, the same thing. I think it's cool looking, and I'm going to sell my original ID52 because I've got this anniversary edition that's gray. There's only like 230 of them in the United States, but yeah, same thing. It's just cosmetic.
Prep Hands Paul's stream topic. I already dropped the link in the chat. Make a preparedness plan now. So I agree with that topic.
Hey, and he just dropped a note that it is full duplex. He, which I'm assuming is somebody maybe behind the
curtain.
Yeah, behind the table told him directly that it is. Yeah. So that's
good.
That's what we're counting on.
We're counting.
Wrong.
I know.
That's right. Yeah.
We're all going to rely on you.
Did he tell you what the MSRP was going to be on that too?
No.
Whoever he is.
I don't think anyone.
Right.
12. If they're going to compete, I'm going to say 11 to 1200. That will put it right on the icon level.
I'm going to say 13 to 14 because the 705 is 13 and some change, isn't it?
Right. Yeah. Frank's thinking that they're going to make it a little bit less than the 705.
Yeah, I think they'll make it a little less.
If you make it a little less, kind of undercut a little bit.
I don't know. I think they might make it a little bit more because the FTDX10 was more than the 7300. And
touche, but it does a lot more. A lot more than the 7300. And it was, when it came out, 8 years newer than the 7300.
Yes.
You can't beat that fidelity on a 7300 though.
I don't know.
I got some riddled ears, man. And
Paul said
I
price.
love the 7300.
The OVF, I don't get OVF flashing idiot lights on my FTDX10, so
I don't either.
But
I don't get overloaded by 7300.
Well, I also don't have a Mac, so I don't have any idiot lights around.
No. That's a good point. That's a good point. All right. Hey, guys, thank you for joining me tonight. This was very last minute, and I'm driving back up to the hunting lease tomorrow, hopefully after the weather clears.
All right.
It's going to be cloudy and misty and kind of gloomy, but the deer move around in that crap. If it's thundering, they're not moving around. But if it's just kind of like cloudy and misty and kind of overcast, and the barometric pressure's all up and down, which is really good for fishing, the deer move around during that crap too. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we're gonna get some stuff. But
all right,
let's do a.
I call some sausage.
Oh, dude, if we get that hog trap, so I got that hog trap at the lease, but we never set it up this weekend because, well, not everyone showed up. Number one, and number two, it started raining on us today.
Sapphire won't be out there in the rain.
No, Sapphire would not be able to make it down the Caliche Road, I don't think. But yeah, as soon as we get that hog trap set up, we'll have some pork to go around. But yeah, real quick. Okay, we got 7 minutes, so real quick, let's you guys tell me what's coming up on your channels next. Freddie, you go.
Got some reviews coming up. I'm doing two good all-star videos on deck, and good. I am working on these 2 radios coming up soon. TID Radio DMR, the new Talk Pod.
I've got that new Talk Pod. They sent that to me. I haven't messed with it yet.
NV8 Plus. Well, when you open their app and don't know how to use it, holler at me and I'll tell you how.
Good information.
I had to ask somebody else too. It's a POC radio. It's kind of cool. They sent it to me. I'll check it out.
Okay. All right.
I'm having a lot more fun with this TID Radio DMR.
I got to get that TID Radio DMR. I got to check that out. Okay. All right, thanks, man. Tank, what's coming up on your channel?
Coming up my channel, I have the ultimate in the POS category radios. crap I bought on Temu. Is it worth it?
That's great. That's great.
I really want to put that in the title, but I did it. But it's generally
you should.
crap
Totally
I
should.
bought on
Should've.
Temu.
Yeah.
And is it worth it? And I'm trying to backtrack on the radios. Like it's branded Baofeng, and I cannot find it in the iPhone's catalog.
Oh my goodness.
I get really fishy with that stuff.
Yeah. All right, so that's
I do.
coming up tomorrow.
All right, man. Looking forward to it. Robert, what's up with you?
Well, I just dropped a review on this little guy, the Spectre.
I saw that. Yeah.
So check that out. I also have a video coming out where I turn some jumper cables into power cables for a Victron Energy charger. So that'll be the next thing out. And then I've got lots of antenna maintenance getting ready for contest season.
Oh,
cool.
That's a good idea.
Good. Okay. Tim, what about you? What's coming up for you?
Let's see. I attempted an AM activation, POTA activation, all AM. So that video will be coming out Tuesday night.
I've always wanted to do that. Did it work for you? Did you get it?
You'll have to see Tuesday night.
Okay. Yeah. All you got to do is spot yourself on AM on the POTA website. You should be able to get it. Should be okay.
What I will say is that I think we need to do a little outreach. There are a number of people that don't realize what AM sounds like when you're set.
Don't know how to switch the mode between sideband and CW.
Yes,
there's a couple other modes in there, guys.
Yeah, that'll be Tuesday night, and there's a whole slew of videos queued up for Tuesday night Ham Tube, leading into the Ham Radio Clubhouse. Got some merch going on now.
Nice.
RF makes my wire wiggle t-shirts. Got those, and just having fun. And obviously got the new building here is up, and I've got a whole slew of things to do to get the radios set up and everything. So I've got a whole whiteboard of video ideas and things that I'm going to record while I'm building this out, and get some updated content out there on things like grounding and antenna disconnects and using some of the tools like Node-RED to do station maintenance, because it is technically it's a remote station for me. So
totally,
even though it's in my house, it's still remote.
Yeah. So cool, man. Thanks for joining tonight. Bill, what about you? What's up with you?
Well, winter comes and I generally slow down. But I slow.
That's okay.
It's the making videos. So I'm determined to finish that mobile install series. It just feels it's undone, and I haven't said everything I think I need to say. And you guys have probably all heard this before. But I'm enjoying my radio. I'm doing a lot of remote radio stuff, things that I get a kick out of. But it's, for instance, I'll come on with 150, 200 watts or something. And I'll say, if I'm sitting there, I'll say portable North Carolina. And they'll say, boy, oh boy, you're getting a lot of that QRP radio. And I'll say, I said portable, not QRP. Oh, I get it. And then if I'm in the airport or at a hotel or something, after work while I'm still at work away from home, I'll just go remote to North Carolina. I'm just having a lot of fun with that. So trying to put some ideas in my head about putting some videos together that way. I don't know enough about other ways to do it. So to be general, hey, you do it any way you want to do it. But anyway, just enjoying my radio and watching all you guys, getting ready to move into Tim's new ham shack. And when he walks in one morning, I'll say, squad is right. You left it out.
You need to do a video series about that trailer, Bill, because it's got everybody enamored and fantasizing about it. So,
I want to.
You got to do it, man.
I want to, but it's like, you're living. First of all, it's a big living in it and working on it. So people say, how do you live in an RV? Well, I'm only there 2 days a week. The rest of the time I'm at work. Living on the road. and when I'm there, I'm putting stuff in. So I'm just getting to the point where, like, when I got the two burner cooktop and the sink put in, where I kind of went. So I'm kind of looking around, and but I'm living it. There's clothes over there and laundry down there, and anyway, I will. I just haven't got there yet.
Yeah.
But thanks for having me on.
Yeah.
And
you bet, man. Thanks for joining.
Appreciate being part of this community.
Yeah, you bet. Good to have you, Bill.
See you, man.
So, all right, guys, 73 to all. Catch the videos that premiere tomorrow and Tuesday, and we'll see you guys out there at some point. So, wave goodbye.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.
See you guys.